Hey everybody, it's William from Scamming Scammers Action, and we are live from Anne's backyard. I'm not in my usual office in the States working. I am actually in beautiful Australia here on holiday. So we're going to do a live. It's our first Facebook live feed. We've had a lot of you come to our inbox and ask questions, so we're going to try to answer as many as possible. Excuse the background noise, but I'm in paradise, and there's a lot of birds and beautiful things here, so this isn't our normal workspace. Anyway, thank you for all of your questions. We really appreciate it. If you have any further questions that I don't get to, please come to the inbox with them. Don't write it on the post because it's possible scammers could see it, and you never know. So we're going to start off just by saying thank you for all our fans and followers that have been with us since 2013. And we've had a lot of ups and downs with our pages, and we appreciate the hardcore fans that come to us. Our inbox is busy as ever, unfortunately. But we do appreciate all of your cheers and all of your commitment to our page. And we will be working further on our YouTube page. You can always find us on YouTube. And we are working with a designer to get a website up. It's taking a little bit of time because we're going through and getting our business license through the Australian business. So it'll take a little bit for us to do that. But we're working hard to keep you safe, and we really appreciate the following. We have a few questions to answer, but before I get to that, I just want to address that the holiday season is coming up. Scammers are working harder than ever to try and get your money. We have people coming to us saying they get 10 to 15, if not more, fake Facebook friend requests a day. And they're also on Hangouts, they're on Instagram, they're on every network you can think of. Even playing games online, playing a card game online with somebody can fetch you a scammer. So be very, very careful, be very vigilant, make sure you know who you're talking to, and when in doubt, Google the photos, listen to what they're telling you. Don't trust everybody you meet online, and just know that our inbox is always open should you need assistance. So with that, I just want everyone to stay safe, and we'll go ahead and get to the questions. The first one's from Jane. Do I have to write to a military man's commander in order for him to come visit? The answer is no. You do not have to write to a commander, the United Nations, to any authority for a military man to come home. That is a scam. If you're talking to a so-called military man on a dating profile, Facebook, wherever you met him, and he's saying, honey, you have to write to my commander so I can come home, that's a scam. The military does not deal with family members, wives, girlfriends, that type of thing when it comes to their leaves, when it comes to them coming home, their pay, any of that. They will deal directly with the soldier. And soldiers do not pay for their leaves. They don't have to pay anybody to take a leave. There's no process where you have to send a Western Union or buy an iTunes card. A real soldier is never going to ask you for money. They're never going to ask you for iTunes cards, gift cards. They don't need you to open a bank account, none of that. So if you're talking to somebody online who says they're a soldier and they want you to write to somebody, they want you to do this and that for them, block them, move on. They're a scammer, 100%. Next question is from Isabella. Hi, Isabella. Why are scammers asking for iTunes gift cards on their fake profiles, and what do they do with them? That's a great question, and iTunes gift cards are becoming more and more of an issue with victims. There's several things they do with them. An iTunes gift card to a scammer is like currency online. There's thousands of groups, both on Facebook and on other social media networks, where the scammers get these iTunes gift cards and they trade them for currency. They trade them with other scammers. There's a group on Facebook, there's several, but there's a group on Facebook that's based in Lagos, Nigeria, that just deals with iTunes gift cards and their exchange. And you'll have scammers say, I got a $50 card from a client, which will actually be a victim, and they'll trade it for, oh, I'm in Lagos, I'll trade that for a pair of shoes, or I'll trade that for some alcohol, or I can trade that for someone's stolen credit card number. They use them as currency. And you need to think of an iTunes gift card. If someone's asking for one, they're asking for that because it's currency to them. So if they say, well, honey, I can't come home till you give me two $50 iTunes gift cards, that's the same as a scammer coming up and saying, I want $100 from you. So don't give iTunes gift cards. If you get contacted by the IRS or the Australian tax office or whatever country you're in, if they ask you for a gift card, an iTunes gift card, block them. Even if they threaten you and if they say, well, you're going to go to jail if you don't give me this iTunes gift card, it's a scammer, and you just need to block them. Don't be scared. Don't think twice. Don't go to the store and buy them. Block them, because they are definitely trying to scam you. And like I said, those iTunes gift cards are as good as cash to a scammer. Next question we got is from Terry. Hi, Terry. Why are there so many of the same photos on different profiles with different names? Is it one scammer doing it? The simple answer to that is no. Once a photo is stolen off an innocent person, it goes viral in the scammer world. So if you have one photo being used by one scammer in Lagos, that same photo is going to be used in Accra, Ghana by 15 other different scammers. So keep in mind, yes, the photo is stolen, but it's being used by many scammers in many locations. And it's not just one scammer with 50 different fake profiles and different names using the same photo. It is one photo that's stolen being used by many scammers in many locations. All right? So keep that in mind when you see, a fake Dave Smith and a fake Bob Jones. Same photo, but they're going to probably be different scammers using it. Next question is from Danielle. Hello, Danielle. How can I find the real man in the photo to warn him his photos are being used? Okay. We've covered this before in our YouTube videos, and it needs to be talked about again because we get tons of people in the inbox saying, I want to find the real man. The answer to this is most of the victims of photo theft are very aware that their photos are being used. There's some examples out there of certain military men who know their photos are being used, and they think it's funny, they think it's ridiculous, or they simply don't care and don't want you to contact them. The majority of victims of photo theft don't want to be contacted. And you have to think of it as, put yourself in their shoes. What if your photo was stolen and every day you get 50 to 100 to 200 women contacting you and saying, I'm in love with you, I want to let you know your photo is stolen. That person doesn't know who you are. And most of them will tell you, please don't contact me, or they won't talk to you at all. And you're more likely to find another fake profile than you are to actually find the man in the photo. And any scammer would be happy to say, oh, yes, I'm the real man. Thank you for letting me know. And then he'll try to scam you. So the best course of action in this is to accept the fact that that person in the photo doesn't know who you are. They probably don't want to know who you are. They might be married. They might be gay. They might be dead. They might not even want to speak to you at all. The best thing to do is move on. Finding the real man in the photo is a waste of your time. It's a waste of your energy, your emotions, and you just need to move forward from the scam, move forward from the situation, heal from it, and leave that photo, leave that man's photo, that woman's photo behind, because that person never knew you. They don't want to know you. And that's our best advice for finding the man or woman in the photo. Our next question, it's going to come from Jim. Hello, Jim. Why do you bait fake profiles? Isn't that dangerous? The short answer to that, yes, it is dangerous. The reason why we bait fake profiles, there's several reasons why we do it. For one, let me start by saying that we use computers and equipment that is very secure. We have not only your average everyday antivirus software, we have beyond that. And we have software that most normal people don't use for daily computer use. We bait the profiles for a few reasons. One of the main reasons is we want you to read the conversations. We want you to understand and read what they're saying, how they're saying it, because a lot of the African scammers don't understand the English dialect. They don't understand slang. They don't understand these words that they're saying. And you can get an idea of what they're doing, how they're doing it, what they tell you. And so if you do come across a fake profile, you can say, well, wait a minute. I read a chat like that on Scamming Scammers Action where he said he was in an oil rig and he said this and that, and you're typing the same as that person. And it gives people an idea. We don't recommend baiting scammers. Sally sitting at home on your home computer, don't play with the scammers because a lot of them are dangerous and a lot of them are hackers. A lot of them can come after you. So leave it to people that know what we're doing. We've been baiting scammers for many years. I myself have been on the internet for over 20 years. I've been dealing with scammers for a long time. But we do post the chat so you can read, so you can learn, so you can understand what they say and what they do. As far as baiting, please don't do it unless you are a professional. Next question we have, and it's going to be the last one we got a couple more. Next question, Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. I talked to a fake profile and the scammer confessed and I'm now friends with the scammer, and he is really nice to me. He told me about his life and family. He even helped me and sent me a computer and some money for my kids. Not all are bad. What do you think? Okay, Rebecca, I'm going to tell you, and I've had this happen to a few victims. When a scammer confesses, a lot of times they do it because they're still scamming you. They will play you, and they want you to know who they are. They'll say, oh, I'm a student, I'm very poor, I've never scammed before, this is my first time doing it, I'll never do it again. The truth of the matter is they've done it before, they're doing it right now, and they're going to do it in the future. But at the same time, they're more than willing to play you for a fool. We've had scammers confess to us and tell us a sad story of how their life was. And what happened was at the end of this conversation, they asked for money. We said no, and they came after us and said, well, then I'll kill you. Scammers are after money. That's all they want. Whether they have to use a fake profile to romance you, or they can pretend and do it that way, or they can be themselves and become your friend. Either way, they're going to scam you, and they're gonna try to get your money. They're all after the money. That's all they want. That's all they'll ever want. So, you have to keep that in mind. Now, when they do confess, and like Rebecca said, this man sent her a computer and some money, you have to understand that that money is coming from another victim. It's not coming from the scammer. The scammer is not going to give you money out of his pocket. It'd be no different than a bank robber giving you money that he robbed you with. He's not going to give you that money. That money is going to come from another victim, just like yourself. As far as him sending you a computer or a phone or other devices, you have to remember those items are also stolen. They're bought with victims' stolen credit cards, and they're sent to your home. And what happens, depending on what country you live in, you can be held liable for that because it's accepting stolen merchandise. And we've had many victims who have gone to jail for accepting these items, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Once you start receiving these packages in the mail, it's easy for the victim whose credit card was stolen to call the credit card company, to call the police, and they can trace it right to your house. They're going to come after you. They're not going to come after the scammer. The scammer is going to be somewhere in Nigeria or Ghana or wherever, and they're not going to be caught, but you will be held liable. So if you're speaking to a scammer who confessed and all of a sudden he's your friend, or he wants to come over to your country, or he loves you, he's a scammer. And more often than not, they'll have two profiles, one with their real name and everything, and then they'll have a clone profile which they'll friend you with, saying it's their real profile. In reality, it's a fake profile. Their real profile is going to have money, going to have alcohol, drugs, it's going to have hustle hard, it's going to have all the scammer stuff on it. And that's going to be the real true person. A tiger doesn't change its stripes, and a scammer doesn't stop scamming because you've changed their lives. That's a very, easy misconception to have. You think you've saved the scammer. In reality, he's just playing you for a fool. So please, if the scammer confesses and he friends you and he wants to change his life and come to your country and give you things, block him. Once a scammer is a scammer, and they're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep making you a victim, only you're just being victimized by the real face instead of the fake face that he tried to victimize you with in the first place. Okay? So as far as for Rebecca, you need to block that person. You need to stop all contact, and you need to stop taking items that he gives you because they're stolen. I guarantee it. All right, we've got Tom. Hi, Tom. He's written, why do you only show the faces of African scammers? What about the other countries? There's scammers there. You're absolutely right, Tom. There are scammers in every country. United States, the UK, Russia, Thailand, Malaysia, everywhere, Australia, everywhere in the world, there are scammers. The reason we show the African scammers, they're very easy to find. They pretend to be Westerners, where a lot of the other scammers tend to do different types of scams. For an example, a Russian scammer may use a banking scam or something else, while the Africans tend to use romance scams. And also the scammers will use Westerners' pictures, and a lot of times they give payment details to Nigerians and Ghanaians who are, supposed to be the agent or the army processing person or whatever, and it turns out to be the actual scammer. They're very easy to find. When we do find them, and it's not all the time, when we do find them, often their real profiles will be flashing money, flashing drugs, alcohol, clothes, shoes, hats. Look what I bought with the victim's money. They're very flashy. They love to show off. They love to say, look what I got for free from some dumb Westerner. And that's why we find them. they're quite easy to find, whereas other scammers might not be as easy to find. In the years we've been doing this, we were only able to find the real face of one scammer who was from Thailand. And he's been the only one we could find in all these years, except for the Africans. So yes, there are scammers in every country. There's scammers in my country, there's scammers in Anne's country, there's scammers all over the world. There's scammers in your country. But the Africans are very easy to find. Most of the time, they'll give their phone number as well, and we can find them. So that's why we show so many Africans. But we do stress that scammers are everywhere, and they're in every neighborhood and everywhere across the world. And that's just why it is. We just had a question come in from Lisa. Why are they always saying God-fearing? Well, that's a very popular African saying. Most Westerners, I myself am a Westerner, I've never said God-fearing. It's just not in our dialect. It's not in our way of how we speak. They actually have a twisted way of thanking God for the blessings of you, the victim. Many scammers will say, bless my hustle. God has blessed me with more money. And they actually see that you are a victim and that they think God has sent you to them and given you the money. It's a weird, twisted way for them to look at things, but they always thank God. They're very religious. A lot of scammers are very religious. There are a lot of Christians, Catholics, Muslims that are scammers in Africa, but they do think that God sent you, the victim, to them as a blessing. And so don't be surprised if you're speaking with a scammer and they know the Bible. They know Bible verses. They know the stories of the Bible, and a lot of them take advantage of that, and they scam victims who are very religious and very, God-fearing. And that's something that they do. And they do go to church on Sundays. I know tons of scammers that go to church on Sundays, and they thank God every Sunday for victims like you. So we have to keep that in mind. When you speak to a romantic profile that's a Westerner, and they say, "I'm God-fearing," it's more than likely a scammer. Because I'm going to tell you now, my neighbor Bob Smith is not going to say, "I'm God-fearing." It's just not in the American dialect. It's not in an Australian dialect. It's not in the UK dialect. That's an African-based saying. But keep that in mind. Scammers are religious, and they thank God for your money. So anytime you see that, keep that in mind. So we have a question from Marty. Hello, Marty. Why do you show scammers' faces? That's a great question. There's a few reasons why we do this. When we do find a scammer, we like to expose him. We like to show them for what they are. They're criminals. And if they have their details out there and we can find them, we're going to expose them. We're going to show you their face. Now, the reason why we do that, as victims, we tend to fall in love with the photo and we think, oh, that beautiful man with the silver hair and the suit and tie, he couldn't have scammed me. No, he couldn't have done it. And then we show a victim the face of the real African scammer. Maybe the scammer's got gold teeth and money hanging out of his mouth, and it's your money that he took. That impacts a victim, and that shocks them, and it makes them think, oh my gosh, this is who I sent my money to. This bastard is who my money went to. And they'll stop talking to the scammer. They'll stop talking to the fake profile. We've had many victims come to us and say, I knew you said he was fake, but I didn't believe you. But then you showed me his face, and I saw the watch that I sent in the mail being worn by the scammer. I saw him holding thousands of dollars in his hand, and that's my money. I'm so sick over this. I thought I was in love with a 60-year-old businessman, and it's a 21-year-old kid from Ghana. So it's a shock value for victims, but it lets them see, look, this is who you talked to. This is who you tried to give your heart to, and in reality, it was a scammer. And a lot of victims have just completely, quit talking to the fake profiles once they found that that's who they were speaking with. And that's part of the reason why we do it. And also, like I said, we like to expose them. We like to show their faces and say, this is who you're talking to. This is the person. But it's not all the time. And I see Regina has written that you wish we could find your scammer. A lot of times we don't. We give our best effort, and if you come to our inbox, you have payment details, you have information, we're more than happy to run it. We're more than happy to check for you. We don't always find the real face. A lot of the more professional scammers are better hidden. They know what they're doing. But the ones we have found, a lot of the times are young kids, or 15 to 25-year-old kids, and they think, oh, I got away with it. Look at all my money, and that's how we find them. But we give it our best effort. We don't always find them. but we try our best, and we'll try our best with you. If you have information, you have, fake profile, payment details, come to our inbox, and or let us know what's going on. Another thing we want to kind of address, that this has been happening quite often, and we thank everybody for their questions, and we will answer more in the future, and we'll do another Q&A live whenever. But one thing we do get from people that come to the inbox is they'll bring a fake profile and they'll say, well, he's from California and he gave me a phone number for California, so he must be real. The reality of it is, these phone numbers are Google Voice numbers. They're Text Now numbers. They're free numbers that you can get, that I can get. Someone living in Germany can have a California phone number. I'm in Australia right now. Thank you, Tim. I can have a Florida phone number. They're voicemail numbers. They're free. Anyone can get them. Some you have to have an email address. Some you don't. I can have 15 phone numbers right now if I want them. And that's what scammers do. They give you a free phone number. They give you a number from a Google Voice, and they say, oh, you can call me, dear. Call me. See, I'm real. And when you call that number, keep in mind that you're actually dialing it and calling a computer. And they get a notification in their email or their messenger or their app saying, oh, Betty is calling me, and it puts your phone number up there. All of these free voicemail services have caller ID. So, if you think you're doing good by blocking the number, it'll come up on caller ID. And then the scammer will have your number, and he won't be afraid to share it with anybody and everybody. So keep that in mind. Voicemail numbers are free. I can, have a number from anywhere. You can have a number from anywhere. And we do have videos on how to tell where the different numbers come from. Also keep in mind that search sites do not keep up with phone numbers. So grandma's number down the street today could be a scammer's phone number in Africa tomorrow, but the search site is still going to tell you it's grandma's phone number. They only update their sites once a year, if that. So a lot of times people will say, oh, I searched it and it's Betty Smith that lives in Texas. No, it could have been Betty's number 5 years ago, but it's not her number now. And another thing we want to address is what scammers do when you meet somebody on a dating site, you meet somebody on Facebook. They want to take you off that site as quickly as possible. They want you on Hangouts. They want you on Kick. They want Viber. They want to chat with you off the site. They want you to email. And that's very popular for scammers to do. There's a few reasons why they do that. If you meet a scammer on Facebook and you've talked to him for 2 minutes, a fake profile, and they say, let's talk on Kick. Let's talk on Viber. It's safer. It's easier. Let's talk on Hangouts because it's easier. The truth is they sometimes, Facebook shuts the profiles down. They require ID or verification, and they'll shut them down very quickly. So they want to get you off that site and get you somewhere else. Another reason they do it is they want to isolate you. Scammers love to isolate victims. They want you to only email. They want you to only chat on your phone on an app where only you can see it and not the whole family. If you stay with a scammer on Facebook, your daughter, your son, your brother, your grandma, whoever is going to see you talking to this person in public, and then they're going to see your Facebook page, and they're going to say, well, who's Bob Smith? But if they can isolate you onto email, if they can isolate you onto an app on your phone, or a different, like Hangouts, Google Hangouts is a huge place for scammers. They can isolate you, they can talk to you, and they can keep you away from family who might say, hey, that's not a real person, that's so-and-so, that's a photo stolen from so-and-so. So keep that in mind. A legit person is not going to isolate you. A legit, real single man or woman is not going to talk to you for 2 minutes and say, hey, let's go to Hangouts, let's go somewhere else. That's not normal. And you have to think of it as, being in reality. If you were meeting someone at a club or a bar and they said, let's go outside into the back alley and talk, you wouldn't do it because it'd be weird. Think of it the same way on the internet. If someone grabs your attention, you really like them, but they say, well, let's go somewhere else and talk, that's a huge red flag. Don't let a scammer take you away from your normal site where you socialize. Don't let them steal you away to just email, just phone, just a chat app, because that's how they isolate, that's how they manipulate. So don't let that happen. And I appreciate all the great comments you guys are making, and I do appreciate everybody who wrote to the inbox with questions. This is going pretty well, so we'll probably do some more videos in the future, but we just wanted to touch base on a few things today. And again, let you guys know our YouTube channel is always here. We're working on our website. Give us a little time. Ann and I are both really busy people, and we'll definitely always be on Facebook. Even if they close us down for no reason, we'll come back. We're fighters, and we're fighting for you to stay safe. And like I said, again, we appreciate all of our fans and everyone who's always been there for us over the years, and we hope to be there for many years to come and be a thorn in the scammers' sides. So this is William from Scamming Scammers Action. I want to thank everybody who came to our live feed, and like I said, we'll hope to do it again. Until then, our inbox is always open. Keep in mind that we do answer our inbox every single day. There's always somebody that's going to answer your inbox, whether it be Ann or myself. You'll never go days and days without an answer unless there's some kind of weird technical glitch. But 99% of the time, we answer your inbox every single day. So just know that we're here. Stay safe. Check our videos, our notes. If you have any questions, inbox is open. Until the next live feed, keep blocking those scammers and keep your money to yourself. Stay safe. Scamming Scammers Action. See you guys later. Bye.